For years, laptops have let you use the touch screen to emulate the mouse. You didn't have to plug a mouse in. You can move your finger left and right and up and down to move cursor on the screen. And you can tap to select just like clicking on a mouse. But we are able to multiply the power of the touchpad by a considerable amount. When you move your finger around in the ways that you're used to, up, down, left and right, or in combination, you can additionally roll your finger left and right. You can pitch your finger forward and back. And you can also pivot your finger to the left or right along with the other motions that you're used to doing on the pad, controlling up to 6 things at once. You can also touch with more than one finger. Here's a 2-finger posture, for example, and you can tap and spread the fingers around. You can also use fingers from 2 hands if that's convenient to do different things. And you can touch with other parts of your hand. The pad will recognize that and assign other interpretations. You can also make complex gestures in sign language to control your computer to do very sophisticated things with grammars and syntaxes. So operating systems and their windowing systems have come a long way, but they're still controlled with a very primitive mouse. If we add just 2 more parameters to what you can normally do with a mouse, you can significantly enhance the user experience with these desktops. For example, in the 3D desktop that allows you to pick different screen views, we can tilt the finger left and right, up and down, and we can move around with a 3D metaphor for moving the screens around. And we can find a particular window that has the directories that we are on, that we choose to edit, and then we can pick the file by moving our finger around, up and down, left and right, and scroll through the icons that are on display there using a natural metaphor. Here's an example using Google Earth Tool. So we'll just close in here. We'll enhance that with our new Renaissance touchpad. Use our rotation to rotate the viewpoint. A natural metaphor, much better than sliding a mouse around on the table. As you move the finger, the view moves right along with it, just like you'd expect. Similarly, tilting the finger forward and back will shift the viewpoint up and down. Again, a strong metaphor between moving your hand and what you'd expect to see. This makes this particular application much easier to use. Then you can combine these, of course, to do several things at the same time, some of the things we saw before, in addition to zooming. And we can actually take little fly-throughs through Google Map just very intuitively, just tilting your finger around, changing your viewpoint just as if you were flying. Here's another example of a compound motion. Backing up and changing our viewpoint. Now we'll try the Google Street View. Again, we're going to enhance that with the capabilities of our touchpad and try to use some natural metaphors. Instead of sliding the mouse around the table to change our viewpoint, we'll just rotate our finger to emulate rotating our head around to take a look at the intersection. And then we'll go to a different place and take a look when we get to that other place. So here we are turning our head around just as we move our finger around to get a full 360 view. And we take our little trip, sliding our finger around. Now we'll talk a little bit about spreadsheets, and we can add new shortcuts using the additional capabilities of the touchpad. We can assign some of the new operations that you could add to a spreadsheet to the new operations you can do with your finger. Here we're tilting our finger left and right and up and down. We can use that to select cells without using the arrow keys. You can tilt the finger left, right, up and down to move around groups of selected cells in a new kind of operation. Now, a big payoff for the new Renaissance touchpad is with graphic systems, because you normally want to control several things at the same time. But with a mouse, you can only control two things at the same time. So here's some enhancements. For example, we'll take some sort of figure, and at the same time we're moving it up in the image, we're also going to rotate it. You would have to use several mouse clicks and motions to do that. Here's a contouring thing where you would do the opposite. You can see the finger gesture, and you can see what happens on the screen. With 3D graphics, it can be even more compelling. Thank you for your attention.